What's up? How are you doing, my friends? Computers, robots, those that don't know what they want to be, boys and girls, whatever. Kind of didn't get this yesterday. Can you see it now? If this phone jumps and turns off, it's because there's a static field. There's pulses on my fingers, and it jumps on the phone. But it says SAP. What does SAP mean? I don't know. But here's a video I really got to do, because a couple years ago, whenever I'd talk about my ex-girlfriend, I would start getting pulses, and like, somebody didn't want me to talk about my ex-girlfriend. But before I get into my ex-girlfriend, I did a program for prison, and whenever I got out of prison, they sent me to a community correction center, and it was down here at Western Penitentiary of Pittsburgh. They called it the Wall. There's a CCC center there. Well, here's the whole deal. I started working, and whenever I started working, they wanted 15% of your paycheck for rent, 10% of your paycheck for fines and court costs, 10% of your check for savings account. So that was 35% of your check. As soon as you turned it in, they took it out. Luckily for me, I never gave them one single check since I started working. And then all of a sudden, I got this thing saying that somebody was paying off my fines. My fines started, saying they were being paid. I'm like, whoa, what's going on here? Because what they did, people that went to work, they took that 10% of the money and averaged it and paid everyone's fines. They didn't do the individual fine. And that's against the law. That's against the law. Because now they're double dipping whenever they want 15% for rent to live there. Because I go to work, and that comes out of the taxes that's paying for that, for me to be there. Because I got to buy my own food. I had to buy my own food to live here. They didn't cook. They didn't feed you. So then they wanted 15% for rent. And then they wanted 10 for these fines. Luckily, I paid my fines off because they strapped it to my driver's license. And that goes hand in hand with some kid I just heard. He hasn't been able to get his driver's license for 40 years. He can't feed his family. He was wearing an astronaut in the spacesuit. Mm-hmm. But anyways, so what happened was they had like this big court case. There was a guy named Lieutenant Frank. He was a white shirt. And there was one of the guidance counselors left. I can't remember who the head of the facility was. He was he was kind of fat, light-skinned dude, wore glasses. But what they did, they took that people's money right out of their paychecks and just started paying everybody's fines in a 10% manner. So if I made $2,000 in 1 week, that's $200 that was supposed to go towards my fines, not another fucking state property person. Okay? Because now I'm paying taxes. It's coming right out of the check. I had to file my taxes from whenever I worked at this place. So big fine. That's why this community correction center no longer exists, but the wall still stands. You guys in prison, like the guys that were here in Moon, the Mr. Landfrieds, watch out for that one. Because they sent me down to another community correction center down in Greene County. Now, what that place was for, because these people that were in CCCs, they got drug tested constantly. When you come up with a hot piss, lipids in your pee, how your blood changes, and it could pick this up. They sent you down to the CCC in Greene County, and that's a level 5 prison down there. That's a maximum security prison. And I was sent there. I didn't have a hot urine. They sent me there because they got busted embezzling money. So Now to get to my ex-girlfriend here. What's up? What's going on with the sun, by the way? My ex-girlfriend. I met this girl. There's apartments up here. Okay. I met her. I was driving a car. I was going to the grocery store and she was walking. She was walking. To boot, she was in the adult entertainment industry too. She was in an escort. She was an escort and she was an adult I could show you their shit on YouTube. Whatever. I don't care how mad you get, because that shit could have fucking fallen, because I just got a hologram and a vision in my head of her face. So here's the deal. She was walking, I passed her, I slowed down, I looked at her. She looked at me, and then I get to the store, and she's coming in, and I spoke to her, and we hit it off from there. She never left my house for about 2 months. She just stayed here. And here's the funny part, because when we were talking, she used to tell me that she used to walk her dog down here, and her dog would stop at my yard, and he wouldn't leave. She had to keep pulling him, and he wouldn't want to leave. And that's in her dog. Her dog's microchipped, got a chip in it. But that's like I was saying, these people that are in this adult industry, they're blacklisted. They really can't work unless this entity that's, well, we got fiber lasers and amplifiers and this new technology. And people would she would tell me stories like people would offer me $1,000 a day to stay with them, but there's a lot she didn't say. There's something she's holding on to. She went to the psych ward too for hearing voices. she's got a problem with drugs, of course, but they sent her to a psych ward because she said she was hearing voices. And this was out in LA, California. So, plus she got off of opiates. And the way she said she did this, there was a new technology out there. Someone paid like 10 grand, like some dude that's still pissing around with her. She had a kid now too. And she wanted to say it was mine, but I go to the hospital, she says it wasn't mine. The social worker comes in, since you don't know who the father is. Sir, leave the room. I wanted a paternity test and nothing. She won't even file for child support. So whatever that fiasco is, that's one of those things you could probably make a movie about, and it's probably already in movies. But anyway, she got off of opiates, and someone paid like $10,000 for her to go to this rehab, and they put this new technology in her. She told me it was like a magnetic ball they stuck in her gut. And she didn't have, she had an irregular, she didn't even have an irregular, she had no menstrual cycle whatsoever. This is one of the very few females that I've ever known that never had a cycle. But until she met me, she started to get a cycle again. Pretty strange, huh? Because I used to just chill with her. And she would say to me, I want to pay $1,000 a day to be my wife, my girlfriend. Live with me for the rest of your life, whatever, blah, blah, blah. She said she turned it down. She says, that's not what love is. That's not love. I never felt love until I met someone like you, she said. I was like, wow, that's pretty crazy. That's pretty crazy. But then they sent her to a psych ward. And then all the other stories of the drug dealer she knows and blah, blah, blah. Like, holy shit, huh? So I met her after Ross and Noah went to prison. So I know it's not something coming from Ross and Noah. But there's this illegal immigration problem. Now people that are here are marrying people for green cards. And I run into a buddy from school. You know what? I'm not even going to go there, but a buddy from school, he was marrying someone from Indonesia to get him a green card. Pretty strange, but I could be wrong. It's just how it works. You marry someone in the States, you get a green card, you get to stay. Okay, we're still rolling. Now here's the other issue. I'm starting to get tension in my shoulder right now from holding the phone. Pulses are half decent. Just notice my eyes if I start squinting and shit. It's because there's the CCD is emitting a frequency, and it's hard on my, like, about right here on the eyebrows, the hair. It's like a magnetic field. Since it's all done by optics, gotta look out for it. Teeth, because I have open nerves in my teeth, and it's so easily to control. And then it goes through the nose, your nose hairs, and every it doesn't matter who you are, you have holes in your nose. That shit gets in there, you're fucked. Because there's been a lot of strange shit happening. Because I know that there's law enforcement that know about this, and I know I've been down the road where any medical procedure you get surveillance, and it's just out of this world. But she got a magnetic ball in her gut, and they said that was supposed to stop her symptoms or something. Or was it like that Vivitrol shit, like where you do dope, all you do is get sick and just start puking? Because they do it for alcoholics too. They give you a shot, and it's good for a month. You have to wear dog tags, because if you go to the hospital, they can't fucking give you opiates, because it'll kill you. It'll get you deathly sick, and or you won't feel it, because it's that naloxone shit that they put in Suboxone. It stops the electrical signal. Now this is going to be great. Everybody listening to this, that naloxone, that Suboxone, Subutex, the shit that they give people to stop people from ODing, they can IV it in you too. It's straight naloxone. How do you think that's stopping that electrical signal in your brain? Let's do some intuitive thinking now, because now the government gives it away for free. There's a facility up here. The guy owns a methadone clinic on the north side, and he has one here in Moon Township. Dr. Reese, old black guy. He might not be living anymore. He's pretty old, but he opened up a Suboxone clinic here in Moon. And this naloxone is sublingual film. When you put it on your tongue, it melts, and then it stops it gets you high, but then all of a sudden it stops it stops withdrawals, but then it brings you right out of an overdose. How's that work? Now they're offering something that says it's getting you high just like an opiate, but it's not an opiate, and they're putting naloxone in it to block your fucking opiate receptors. All you guys taking this shit, what do you think's going on with you? These electrical signals, and now, since 2004, I found out they're using the implications of surveillance, nanotechnology, and devices for surveillance. So that sounds like a device, a sublingual film. Sounds like a device to help people. Pharmaceuticals, right? You have to get a prescription for this, correct? And I don't even have to really see a doctor. It's a clinic. And these clinics are they're selling them for millions of dollars right now, millions. And here's the other kicker. You go to one of these clinics, and now you go get public assistance. They give you everything. Somebody that's clean and has been through it all and no longer do it, they don't want to give you shit. There's like no program for these people that are clean. I guess they think if you're clean, you should be working. And there's no surveillance going on, no crazy technology taking place. None of that. But that's what we're here to change, AI, since I'm researching AI and how people don't want to talk about some of the endeavors of pharmaceutical companies and the adult industry, where there's a stock market and manipulation of electrics in real-time stock market. Oh boy, how it all just ties together, huh? But somebody still is net neutralizing my videos here. How many of the protests did videos never got seen of people speaking some of the same lingo I'm speaking about? Because we all know They want all here in Pitt. A lot of kids are complaining to the board of supervisors, the board of associates, or whatever they are. We want all ties cut from Israel. All government programs, which is dealing with Stingray boxes, repeater systems. We want it stopped. And it did make it on one news station. But how many of the other stuff is being literally neutralized in something called net neutrality, where they're speeding up, slowing down, and covering people up in time domains? Just like when you hack the smart meter of the house, okay, you don't even need to use people's Wi-Fi, because now the smart meter is literally right next to the 220. That smart meter is right next to the 220, and it has an oscillator on. And now you can just literally pulse into the 220, go right through the circuit breakers, in through the walls, into the switches, into the outlets, not including your cell phones, which is a floating voltage. The human being's a floating voltage too, because, you know, we have no wires. So then when you take these load oscillations and you have a very good artificial intelligence, you don't have to know your shit about radars like they used to do back in the day. Because with the radar, you used to be able to take a radar and come up on these wires and literally have a direct current come down right on someone and literally control this if you knew your shit working with radio and radar. Like, it didn't matter if there was analog boxes on your house or not. If you knew your shit, you were fucked. Someone could really get you. And it was for people who were leaking information. But they never seen all this advanced metering infrastructure shit. They never seen it coming. Now it's setting up cameras, not alone listening and hurting people, cameras, and the cameras are hurting people very badly. There's a camera set up in my shower in my house. There's a camera system in there. Whenever I take a shower, people see me naked in shower and people buy it. They're data brokers. Just like Ross and Noah, if somebody snitched on you, they're considered data brokers. Okay, they're and how many people, how many like double agents are there working for my local police station since all this shit started? How many of them are the CIA and they're now wearing police uniforms? Huh? FBI, did you hear that? Okay. So, my suggestion is, hey, Hefe down there in South America with the alkaloids, when are we going to get to the table and just say, you know what? When are they just going to open up a business like cannabis to stop all this shit, first and foremost? Because we're really wasting our time. Because all it's saying is that these people, like, here's the other question I would ask. I don't mean to go off on a tangent. But Ross, no, have you ever been extorted with this system? That would be a good question. Because now the DEA, which really needs to go, because the DEA has to become a criminal. They're saying they have to become a criminal, and these wires already exist, and have an artificial intelligence that could smell fucking drugs a mile away. So now it's these people who are trying to maintain this power within narcotics, which cocaine is a Schedule II drug. Okay, Schedule II. Marijuana is still Schedule I, but I think we're trying to get that out of there. I don't know what you guys plan on doing with it, because nicotine's on that Schedule II. So I could buy nicotine in a store. So I guess we're going to put it somewhere close to nicotine. Somewhere close. Because we're trying to avoid having doctors get involved. Because, oh gosh, like, that's just physical taking the shit. But what could come out of the phone to piss around with, you know, the modulations in my head? Oh gosh. So there very well may be the Fords. Ford sued America for United States blew up their manufacturing plant in Germany in World War II. because they were manufacturing tanks for Germans. And they blew it up, and Ford sued the United States in Supreme Court and won. So these people that were doing bad to people, the people in our Supreme Court, the judges, the people that judge you, instead of, use the tools that are given to get the science, now they're saying they're better than a computer. They are better than sensors. They are better than a magnetometer that TSA uses to X-ray scan people before they get on an airplane. And that brings me to the end of this video. Thank you guys at Boeing, whistleblowers, and I do not offer any condolences. I suggest you come get me to speak for you in court, because they can put this shit on me all they fucking want. It ain't gonna kill me. I promise you, it's gonna make me feel very. And then we have all these scientists here to pull the signal. Where's it coming from? Well, I give you the answer already. All right, talk to you in the near future, my friend. Remember, frequencies resonate, internal energy, neurologically developing. Definitely surveillance states of stupidity as of right now. And I call it stupidity because it's too easy to catch this. It's a judgment call. And by the way, Coraopolis Police Station is different than Moon Police Station, but they were here when they arrested me. Coraopolis. So there's undercover agents that they use in Coraopolis. I don't know who they use in Moon, but when SWAT comes, because there was a couple SWAT issues, when SWAT comes, that's like a bunch of agencies that come together, DEA, FBI, and maybe contractors, like the ex-military, CIA. They come together and put a game plan together. Okay, so here's the other issue. Those who are in elect, they get to say what's going on. It's not, hey, we're going to follow the law. We're not going to follow the law. We'll say who gets to be the supplier. Since I'm the biggest supplier of electrical parts around here, through this system of advanced metering infrastructure, which could definitely bring ultrasound through your house. Definitely. Because everything is, here's the bottom line, everyone. Infrasound, ultrasound, ultrasonic. I don't care what kind of acoustic, it's light. Those 13,000 volts up there, it is light. I don't care if you can see it or not. Radio, you can't see radio frequency to the phone. It is light. That should help every one of you out. Doesn't matter. It all is light. If you don't believe me, go to the Nikola Tesla interview that he left before he died, talked to a newspaper journalist, and left the biggest breadcrumb trail possible on this planet. Matter of fact, the interview is called Everything is Light. It's amazing. So don't take my word for it. Take the guy's word for it that invented the semiconductor, that invented the current that's going through these wires. Don't take my word for it. The guy that says, stay away from extremely low frequency, and talked about if you could electronically control this, you could control every brain on the planet. Hundred years ago, close to it. So, in the comments, if you could hear birds, let me know. Because birds can be fake now. They can be controlled. They could even be stopped from whistling. And their flight paths can be controlled. Their roosts, we all know where the roosts are. Now it's GMO birds. Okay, it's cool. I hope you subscribed, but I have to be very, very careful how I use my cell phone. Each button is literally harmonized in my brain to my eyes. Every button. Every time I push that phone, there's physio.